Hi, my name is Matthew Aasen, and I'm a musician, producer, and multi-instrumentalist from Northern Virginia. Very recently, Performer Magazine and KRK sent me some KRK V4 studio monitors to set up in the studio and test out. And this week, I'm going to be talking about my workflow with these speakers and how they've been working out for me, in addition to some of the great features that are built into these speakers. If you haven't seen the previous episode where I unboxed speakers and set them up in my studio, you can check those out at the Performer Magazine YouTube channel. So starting on the back panel, these speakers have a very extensive and fantastic EQ control panel. So these EQ controls can be used to tweak the high and low end response of the speakers and make them have the perfect response for your room. Next is the input options. So these speakers feature a very high quality and snugly fitting XLR TRS combo jack, and I opted to use the 1/4 inch TRS option in my studio as it worked better with my audio interface and it fit my needs better. There's also a bunch of switch options where you can set the lights of the speakers, you can set the input level of the speakers, and you can also set the grounding settings on the speakers. So that was super helpful in my setup process. So let's take a look at my week with the speakers. I started the week with the speakers in a recording session. I was writing and producing an original track. For me, that process is slowly building up the track with guitars, keyboards, drums, and bass, kind of just writing as I produce. And I like to use Logic Pro's built-in virtual amps when I'm writing a song, as it helps me just get my ideas down quickly and be able to change my sound at the click of a button, essentially. My setup for writing and producing is my Epiphone ES335 running into my audio interface, and through there I can use Logic's virtual amps. And the speakers really helped me get the clarity I needed for the recording of the guitars and just made making the song a lot more comfortable. My biggest project of the week was mixing Ache Harvest's upcoming single, and the speakers were fantastic for this process. They allowed me to really hear what was going on when I was mixing. I didn't have to worry about not being able to trust my speakers, as I could guarantee that every move I was making, whether an EQ or compression, was exactly what I was hearing in my ears. The speakers covered the entire sonic range and allowed me to trust my mixing decisions without ever doubting if what I was hearing from the speakers was actually what was happening, like in my old setup. These speakers had a bass response that was much larger than their form factor. And KRK also makes a subwoofer that pairs perfectly with these speakers that I'd like to get my hands on in the future to fully round out the sonic spectrum. In addition to having a great response, the speakers also had a very wide stereo field when I was mixing and really allowed me to clearly make stereo choices. Thanks so much for watching my overview on the features and a quick recap of my week with the speakers. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, stay tuned for my final installment in the series on the KRK V4 monitors, where I give my final thoughts and my final review on the speakers. Make sure you're subscribed to Performer Magazine here on YouTube to make sure you're the first to see when the video comes out. My name is Matthew Aasen, and I'll see you soon.